Hi, I'm Ann Glessner, the 100 Women Who Care of Northern Door County nonprofit coordinator and board member. Welcome to our virtual nonprofit presentation for our July 20th meeting. We're extremely disappointed that we can't all be together, but excited to host this virtual meeting and keep our quarterly giving going. I'll be the host for this short video and ask the questions for the 5-minute Q&A section. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome 100 Women Who Care member Sandy Friedenfels, who will be presenting on behalf of her nomination of the Northern Door Children's Center. And I'd also like to welcome Executive Director Cindy Trinkner-Piat and the Education and Community Relations Coordinator Karen Corkland de la Mer, who will be answering in the Q&A section. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Sandy. Sorry, unmute, please.
That I did. All right.
There you go.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hello, my name is Sandy Friedenfels, and after serving 12 years on the board of directors of Northern Door Children's Center, I am currently an emeritus status member. I'm here to tell you a story, and it begins with the way all good stories do. Once upon a time. It was the year 1986, and a group of Northern Door County parents banded together and decided to create a child care cooperative, caring for each other's children, making it easier for them to work. Eventually, they realized it was a job for professionals, and Northern Door Children's Center was born. Excuse me. Our mission is providing the highest quality early care and education for young children of Northern Door, allowing their families to continue to work and live here. Since then, we've been fulfilling that mission with energy and passion. In 2019, we provided over 147 hours of early care and education to 159 children in Door County. Research tells us the first 5 years are the most important and critical years of a person's life. We take that fact very seriously. Our students begin their education experience as a part of a loop. This is a group of children who stay with the same teachers and peers for the first 3 years of their lives. Again, based on evidence of extensive research, the stability and continuity, along with rich, play-based learning, contributes to maximum brain development in young children. Our first group of loopers graduated from high school just this year. We like to think that strong, secure educational foundation we gave them in their formative years had a positive influence on their current educational success. After 3 years, the looping teacher helps the students transition to our 3-year-old kindergarten classroom, a program that emphasizes hands-on learning with teachers facilitating student experiences in enriched, playful learning centers. All children aged 4 by September 1 each school year enter our 4-year-old kindergarten classroom, designed specifically to offer play-based, pre-academic learning and social emotional development that's vital to a successful elementary school experience. Since 2017, we've partnered with the Gibraltar Early Childhood Special Needs Preschool, and it operates with our 3K and 4K classrooms. Children with special needs learn and play with their typically developing peers. Therapy and education services take place at the center in the least restrictive environment. Our teachers teach cooperatively with their Gibraltar colleagues to make this inclusion program a huge success. We assess all of our students 3 times a year with a nationally validated assessment tool called Teaching Strategies Gold. From these assessments, every single child at the center has 4 to 5 individual learning goals that guide teachers in creating weekly learning plans with activities designed specifically for the learning needs of each student. Our school-age students continue their connection to us by participating in our after-school program and in the summer camp pool, our summer day camp experience. We offer monthly family events designed to offer fun, relaxation, a time for parents and children to socialize with a little bit of helpful parenting information thrown in the mix. Making all this learning happen is our outstanding teaching staff. A key indicator of a high-quality program is the education level of the teachers. Every teacher who doesn't have a 4-year teaching degree enrolls in college to obtain one as a condition of employment. Our teachers in college participate in the Teach Scholarship Program through the Wisconsin Early Childhood Association, TEACH, T-E-A-C-H, and Northern Door Children's Center pay 90% of the cost of college for our teachers. As a nonprofit, so much of our ability to thrive is based on fundraising. In 2019, we fundraised $200,000 of our $800,000 budget. That level of effort helps make our services more affordable to all of our families. We also depend on our partnership with United Way, local churches, and donor-designated funds whose generosity allows us to offer scholarship dollars to families in need. Then, March of this year, along with everyone else, we entered the pandemic life. We chose to stay open and operational with all new sanitizing protocols. As a designated essential service, at first we served only children of essential workers, including remote learning with the school-age children of our teachers and some siblings. Our 4K program went remote, and many teachers offered support for their students and families by staying in contact via phone and internet. With the advent of the summer season, we are at approximately 50% capacity and added yet another entirely new level of sanitizing procedures and a wide range of precautions to keep other students and families and staff safe and healthy. In the midst of the many challenges and changes, we remain a safe place in our community, one that nurtures and educates children with respect and kindness in all areas of development. In the process, their families are able to maintain their employment, so important, which is important to a healthy Door County economy. So with that said, this is why I ask that you give your approval or give us the donation dollars, because we definitely need it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Sandy, very much. So with that, I know you're going to switch speakers, and then we'll start the 5-minute Q&A section with Cindy and Karen. Very good. All right, and I can see both of you, so great. And you're unmuted, right? Make sure you unmute.
Okay.
Perfect. Great. So again, thank you, Sandy, for that. So I guess my first question is, can you expand maybe just a little bit more on how COVID-19 has impacted your facilities, and then also how that's impacted your funding, if at all?
Because we were an essential service and we were serving parents of children who were working in essential jobs, we did remain throughout. We only closed for a 3-day period early on when the first case appeared in Door County. Our board made a decision to close and sort of regroup and decide, well, what do we do now? How are we going to proceed from this point? So we opened up 3 days later on a Monday again, and we've been open consistently since that time. As Sandy said, we're operating at about 50% of our licensed capacity right now. Part of that is by choice, and part of that is just by demand, but mostly so that we can maintain our social distancing. And we have so many safety and health protocols that we're doing right now. It requires a lot of people to do them. So we're working with what would almost be a regular full-time staff for us this summer, but about half the number of children. Obviously, when you're only bringing in half as much tuition and still maintaining your regular staff, and 80% of our costs on a regular basis are people, we're struggling and bleeding money like everyone else. We've mitigated that by applying for a payroll protection plan program loan, which we did receive pretty early on, and we're using that to help with payroll costs. We also did apply for an SBA loan, which we recently, yesterday, received. So we're hoping that that will help us through this period when we have lower enrollment.
Okay, thank you for that. And what about, can you explain the structure of the organization a little bit more in terms of how you rely on volunteers versus your paid staff?
Sure. During COVID-19, Karen can speak about what volunteers do on a regular basis, but during COVID-19, we're not using any volunteers. No one comes into the building except regular staff. Even parents are not entering the building. So we are masked at all times. When we pick up children from their parents at the door, we return them to them at the door with a mask. So no volunteers at this point. Most of our work is done by paid staff on a regular basis as far as classrooms go, but we have lots of volunteers that do other things for us, and I'm going to let Karen speak about that for a minute.
When we're not in the middle of a pandemic, obviously, we really utilize our volunteers in so many ways. We are lucky enough that so many of our students, once they turn 12, are allowed to train as volunteers, and a lot of our children aren't ready to leave us yet, so they come back as volunteers. They are not allowed to lift children or do anything that a regular teacher would do, but they're fantastic for playing with the children. They're not that far removed from childhood. They really enjoy playing. Then we do depend quite a bit on a lot of our retired citizens who help us out with volunteering in the classrooms, retired teachers, just a wide variety of people who help us out. For example, Cindy pointed to our books. We're in our library, and we have a volunteer librarian who's turned it into this bastion of organization. It's just amazing. People who help us in classrooms, people who help us by groundskeeping. We just have quite a few people that are willing to help us in any capacity that they can. In the past, when we've had fundraisers, we've had people help us with stuffing envelopes or helping us out at particular fundraisers. So we have depended on our volunteers, both our outside volunteers and our parents also volunteer too. So not having that volunteer core has been difficult.
Thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about that aspect of it. So lastly, I guess as we wrap up, could you just make sure we're all clear, if you were to win the main award, how that money would be used, and how will that affect your organization? How will that benefit?
Well, obviously right now what we're looking to do is to continue operating safely, continue our mission, and sort of getting back to business. We were so focused on just keeping everyone safe and healthy for 2 to 3 months that now we've really gotten back to what we do, which is educate young children. So part of the money would be used for what Sandy mentioned, which is Teaching Strategies Gold. It's our assessment tool that is the basis for all of the teaching that we do. It sets those individual goals for children, and it also allows teachers to write lesson plans that will then address those goals. Recently, Teaching Strategies Gold went online only, and we've been using this for about 15 years in the paper form, which was not inexpensive, but is a lot less expensive than the online per child electronic version. So we are left with no choice but to do that. So a portion of it would be used for that program, and we would be doing that. The rest of it obviously is going to be used to help with payroll, that being 80% of our costs. Right now, when we're at lower enrollment, we know how vital we are to the community, and just staying operating and being able to be here for the community is our #1 priority.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. It goes fast, but actually with that, our 5 minutes is up. So again, I want to thank Sandy, who's off screen, and Cindy and Karen for their time and flexibility as we navigate this new format. And of course, it's hard to believe, but originally we were all supposed to get together in person and do this in April. So it's obviously a lot has changed. Oh, great. Since then. Perfect. So I also want to thank everyone, all the members who are watching, for your support of the 100 Women Who Care of Northern Door County and also our community. And then last but not least, don't forget to place your vote for your nonprofit in the main award. Thanks, everyone.